MJ Movie Reviews back again with the rest of my Halloween horror movie reviews. And I said I'm attempting to go a little bit different this year, so my next Halloween horror movie review is going to be of the late, great Bill Paxton's film Frailty, starring him, Bill Paxton, and Mr. Matthew McConaughey himself, and also the late, great Powers Booth. Wow, oh wow, Frailty. Man, when this film came out, actually, you guys can see the Blockbuster logo. I bought this from Blockbusters in, oh my god, I bought this in April of 2006. That is like so sad. Look at that, y'all. I did pay $8 for this when it came out. Frailty. I've always been a gigantic fan. I was one of the small number of people who saw it theatrically. I remember when it came out because I had been a fan of McConaughey's since I saw Time to Kill. And then when I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, aka Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't like Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's so dumb and it's so crazy. It's so absurd and ludicrous that I kind of like it just for how nutty it is and makes no sense and is terrible. And I just like how Matthew McConaughey is just basically just losing his mind in that movie. It's not really a performance. It's just so much more as Matthew McConaughey just totally losing it and having a ball. So I've been a fan of Matthew McConaughey. Bill Paxton, I've been a fan of since way back to Aliens, Predator 2, when all those movies were new. Been a fan of him for years. Powers Booth is just awesome. He's an awesome, intense actor. He's great. He's sorely missed. He's a very intimidating, good character. I hope I can find some more interviews with him. But Frailty, I was very fascinated by this film when I saw the trailers for it when it came out because it was nice to see McConaughey doing an intense performance. And then to see Bill Paxton, I was just very intrigued and I wasn't sure. I saw the acts. I was like, what is this? What is it? And that's the cool thing about Frailty is it was kind of advertised as a horror film, suspense. But the thing about Frailty is Frailty kind of rides that line of being many different genre movies. So it's a horror film in the sense of there's death and there's killing and there's a creepy atmosphere. But it's also kind of I can't really describe it. I don't know if I describe it as like some type of European, like kind of religious messagey. Maybe there's religious symbolism in there type of movie, and then it's kind of a little bit of a cop thriller, and then it's kind of a little bit of a growing up with a single father and his two boys kind of movie, and it's kind of all just kind of meshed in. It's kind of a little bit of a supernatural, unknown forces of the universe type of movie. So it's kind of all of those melded into one, and I don't think it's particularly like, it shows Matthew McConaughey's creepy face in the acts, but it's really more than that, and that's what I've always liked about the movie. Bill Paxton directed this, and I tell you, he does a really great job here. Just really, this is a very performance-driven film and atmosphere. So really, everything that's being sold is strictly on the performances. So because you don't get a lot of graphic violence, although what's being depicted in the film is very disturbing. Because you're talking about these bunch of serial murders that have been going on. Now, if they're actual serial killings or not, the movie kind of lets you make the decision on that. But that's the whole thing, is the movie is kind of toying with you. Is this serial killing or is this something else going on here? You kind of don't know, and that's what I like about the movie. McConaughey is appropriately mysterious. He's creepy, but then he's kind of borderline sympathetic. He's got that underlying intensity. I love when Matthew McConaughey can really, because Matthew McConaughey can be very intense, but I love when he does it like this, when he plays it very under the surface. I love, Bill Paxton even said in the commentary, because this is the special edition, Bill Paxton says in the commentary how they really wanted to just have McConaughey look just greased down and not pretty. And McConaughey's good at that. Powers Booth has equal intensity. You've got three intense character actors all working together. Now, Bill Paxton here, let me go back to Powers Booth. Powers Booth more kind of plays like that stern, authoritarian, like just that man, like a weathered man who's been doing like this FBI law enforcement job for years. He's seen all the death, and he's just trying to check out McConaughey to see if McConaughey really knows about these God hands killings, which the movie, the introduction to the title sequence in this movie has a very creepy sequence, and the music is very, very, very creepy. The score for this movie and the titles is just so creepy. To hear that in the theater, I remember when I saw it. This movie came out, I believe, when I was 19 or 20. God, yeah, I was 19 or 20 when I saw this movie. I was actually the only person in the theater. Nobody else wanted to go see it, so I saw it alone at a Regal Cinemas. But, yeah, and that's how Powers Booth plays that role. Just, very intense. And he's just as mysterious, because there's something going on underneath with him, too, just like McConaughey is. Bill Paxton, to be the director of this movie, does a really good job here. Paxton doesn't go full-on Pax mode, because, Bill Paxton can go really, really zany. He's a lot more restrained here. But what I love about Bill Paxton's performance in this film is how he really plays it right there. Where, he's with his two sons, and he's good old dad, and they're working on cars together, and they're watching movies and eating food together, and then dad just comes in the middle of the night and says, God told me demons are real, and we got to go out and kill them. But it's not like you're actually seeing a demon walking down the street. The demon happens to be some woman that dad brings home in a body bag and takes her to the back garage and says to the two boys, hey, look, this is the demon, we have to kill her. So you can see how maybe that would probably rub these two 12-year-old kids the wrong way. and Bill Paxton playing that line of, has dad lost it? Is he going schizophrenic? Is he losing it? Bill Paxton rides that line really well. And I love how, as the movie goes, and I also want to say the two gentlemen who play his young sons, they do a fantastic job as well, playing off of Bill Paxton. Then you kind of see there's a dynamic where they kind of sort of start to turn against each other, and there's a little. And one thing that I really like is how one son is like thinking like, "Hey, dad has gone off the rails. He's lost it," and he's kind of going against his dad, and it's kind of hurtful because they, you can tell they really love their dad, and Bill Paxton really loves them, but this is nuts what's going on. So what do? Do you go against your dad? And I love how there's a scene where the son tells on Bill Paxton, and he gets the local sheriff or whatever to the house, and he basically goes like, hey, sheriff, we need to go check the garage because there's a body in there. And he's looking at the kid like, well, you seem like you're lying, but hey, look, Mr. Paxton, his name is not Mr. Paxton, he goes, hey, why don't we just check it out just to shut him up? And Bill Paxton turns and looks at his son and goes, you think that's a good idea, son? Maybe we should check it out. And Bill Paxton, because Bill Paxton, most of the movie is playing it kind of like as if he doesn't want to be doing this, but he has to because God is telling him to do it, right? That's the one moment in the movie where Bill Paxton turns on a little bit of boiling sinister, and he plays. Oh man, I miss Bill Paxton so much, man. He was just fantastic. He was great, man. I deeply miss that man. But he was so good in that moment. Very, very, very intense. And he's riding a fine line in this movie. It's fantastic. And I will say, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, even though this movie has been out for, 20 years now, or 19 years or whatever it is. But there's a moment where Bill Paxton, his character, has just been injured. And he has this look in his eyes that's absolute. It's devastating. It is devastating, the look that Bill Paxton has in his eyes. But Bill Paxton's brilliance as a character actor is how he can have a look like, how could you do this to me? I love you. But also have a look in his eye like, I knew this would happen. And he does that all with his eyes. It's great. It's fantastic. And also, this movie has some really good twists in here. You know, nothing Departed or Usual Suspect style or Seven style, but still, nevertheless, there's some genuine twists in there. There's a genuine not cliffhanger, twist that comes at two twists that come towards the end of the picture. Where when I first saw it, I was kind of like, but then I was like, but you know what? This is like kind of a melding of genres, so I rolled with it. So I rolled with it. I was just kind of like, maybe, but I rolled with it, so it was cool. And one thing I will say, there's an ending crane shot, like how all movies end with the crane shot that goes out, a la Christmas Vacation style, with Chevy Chase with the dog, that kind of crane shot, or Speed with the subway train going out like that. And there's a particular look on McConaughey's face where the camera holds on him for a minute, and McConaughey just goes like, he looks up, and then he looks out, and the camera just pulls back, and it does that sinister music, and I love when Matthew McConaughey plays sinister. I'm gonna digress for 1 minute. Like, one of my favorite roles that McConaughey has done is, actually, I'll name three of them. Killer Joe, which I do own. I just love Killer Joe. It's a sick little twisted movie. True Detective Season 1. I love Matthew McConaughey in True Detective Season 1. And I would say Reign of Fire with him and Christian Bale. I love Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire. That movie ends a little bit anticlimactic, but Matthew McConaughey, I love Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire. I so wish they would have done like a sequel where he lived. But yeah. But Frailty, it's a fantastic little genre melding of a movie. It's kind of a bunch of different genres. It's not just a horror picture, you know. It's a lot of different genres, and I think it's a very unique movie. It's very different. I kind of wish it'd get more praise, but yeah, Frailty's fantastic. If those of you out there have not seen it, check it out. It's some good work, man, from three character actors, and of course the late great Bill Paxton with his directing. So you guys check out Frailty. It's a great one. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Don't forget to hit the little bell when I get new videos, and leave comments down below about Frailty from the late great Bill Paxton. Man, y'all, great movie. I'm gonna be back with another Halloween horror movie review. I'll see you soon.